Hello, 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 and welcome to a fresh start. We are so glad to be here. Missed being yesterday. I was in a training that I had to attend. And so when I thought about it, I said, oops, I forgot to tell them last week, wouldn't be here Tuesday, would be here Wednesday. So we're here and we are ready to embrace some more perspectives concerning our fresh start. We are so glad. I mean, so extremely glad. Hold on a minute. So extremely glad to be with you. Give me a second. All right. To be back with you, enjoying our perspectives of our fresh start. We've already prayed. I am a believer. For those who are just joining me for the first time, I'm Shauna Grace. I'm a certified life coach, and I do have a doctorate in counseling. And I am a believer, as I stated, and I like using the word of the Lord to help us to see life in the abundant way that He wanted us to see it. You see, most people look at the Bible, oh, that's just for what we've called down through the years church. You know, when we go on Sunday or Bible study, that's what the Bible's for. But when it comes to our life, it don't have anything to do with that. Yes, it does. And we're going to prove it. Solomon proved it. But we're going to talk about it. That's what we've been using. And so that's what we continue to revert back to when it comes to our everyday life. Everyday life, okay? Our everyday life. So our fresh start, we left off last week, or closed out, talking about letting go and not holding on to things. And what we want to do this week is actually talk about old stuff. Old stuff. And what would old stuff be? Well, I'm glad you asked. Old stuff would be just yesterday. Do you know yesterday is old stuff? Yes, it is. Yesterday is old stuff. It that was yesterday. You can't go back in yesterday and do not one thing about it. Whatever happened, happened. If you didn't handle it right, ain't nothing you can do about it now. Going forward, you can learn from that experience and go further. You see what I'm saying? So, that those were the things that those are the things that we're going to talk about. Our old stuff, okay? The old stuff. Uh, what's old is just that, old. Okay, that's it. It's just old. There's nothing you can do about it. It is old. Um, a lot of us have our shoulda, coulda, wouldas, but it's just old. There's nothing you can do about it. Um, your fresh start is just that, a freshness. And that's why we have that fresh start every day. We have that fresh start every day. Okay? We have that fresh start every day. An argument, that's old. A disagreement, that's old. How you felt about something, old. Today is new. Today is new. Sometimes your mind, I woke up this morning, had an incident yesterday. Woke up this morning, that wasn't on my mind. But as I got up and got ready for today, okay, all of a sudden here that comes. And my mind wanted to start revisiting it. And right away, now some of y'all call God just that, God, Heavenly Father, Most High, Creator. I call him Daddy. Daddy says, And I said, you know what? Thank you, Daddy. That was yesterday. That's old. That was yesterday. I'm not going back there. And right away, my mind came into agreement with the stance I took to submit to what Daddy had said. That was yesterday. Didn't you tell me about that? Yes, sir, I did. So what's up? What you doing? You see what I'm saying? That is the situation that we have. That's the situation that we have, is that it's old. You know, they're taking old vehicles, been doing it for years, but you're seeing them do it now almost as a profession. They're taking old cars and old uh, homes, and they're renovating them. They're giving them a fresh start. When you see that vehicle again, you almost can't even recognize it. You get what I'm saying? Now, with that said, it's the same thing with us. The same thing with us. Okay? We have a fresh start. You said, but Sean Grace, I'm not old. How dare you? I didn't say you were old. I said the stuff was old. That stuff that you've dealt with, that's old. And you can't even get to the freshness of a new day or a new start because you keep revisiting the old stuff. Many, and I did it. So I told you the things that I share is stuff I've done. Okay. The things that I share is the stuff that I've done in a relationship, marriage, whatever. You and your significant other break up. You and your spouse divorce. It's been years. And what will you do? What will you do? You will what? Revisit it. Girl, I remember. Girl, I remember. Man, let me tell you. And here go you opening up this pain that had started moving away from you. You revisited and you changed this direction, and now it's coming back to you. And all of a sudden, your whole entire day, you let it mess it up. You see what I'm saying? This whole entire day, you allow it to mess it up. And that's not hurting the person, that's hurting you. You. Because that other person ain't thinking about it. Either you left or they left. It's done. They moved on. You, on the other hand, are still stuck with the old stuff. In your fresh start, you're stuck with your old stuff in your fresh start. You see what I'm saying? Now, all of us have moments of revision, okay? All of us have moments of revision. So I'm not sitting here like we don't, okay? Let me tell you something. I just said I've done it. I just said I've done it, okay? I went around for years still thinking about what happened, and I don't believe this and I don't believe that, and just everything just went where it went. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't until Daddy said to me, and this goes to Isaiah, excuse me, 43 and 19. He said, you're not even with him anymore. And you still talking about it. I mean, because when you love hard, let me talk to you hard lovers for a minute. When you love hard, you invest, I mean, you go all in. No bars hold. Hell, you go all in. I mean, it's that you just engulfed with that relationship. Your whole you becomes that relationship. And when it dissolves, you can't even wrap your mind around it because you were so invested in it. All of your new life just went out the door. It never got off the ground with me. But it was over. I left. And see, let me help you with something. You can leave. Your body can leave. But if your mind don't leave, you might as well stay there. Because in your mind, you're carrying it with you. You see what I'm saying? In your mind, you are carrying it with you. And that's not what you need to do. In your mind, you're carrying it with you. So where's the fresh start? If you're constantly waking up in a fresh day, revisiting old stuff, how are you going to ever get to your fresh start? You can't. Because you keep going back, revisiting old stuff. And what's so bad about it is old pain. It's old pain. You see what I'm saying? It is old. Ain't nothing you can do about it. It's old pain. And who wants to revisit old pain? But we don't think about that when we're in the moment. All we know is this wrecked my life. I don't have a life because of this. You don't have a life because you keep revisiting old stuff. That's why you don't have a life, honey. Other than that, you'll be good to go. But you keep revisiting old stuff. Yeah, but Shauna Grace, let me tell you, right there, right there, right there is where your problem is. But you don't understand. Let me tell right there. Because when you say, let me tell you what happened, you're going back and revisiting old stuff. Now, it doesn't seem logical not to talk about it or not to say anything about it. But if you're going to enjoy the fresh start that you left to get, okay, if you're going to enjoy a new life, you're gonna have to, yeah, you're gonna have to let it go. You're gonna have to. You're gonna have to let it go. You're gonna have to stop visiting it. When you can, I remember, even with me, when I started a new life, I talked about it. Some of y'all have heard me mention it. And I wind up sunk again. I started losing friends. My own children didn't even want to come and see me. because they knew at some point the conversation, excuse me, they knew at some point the conversation was going to turn into what their father had done, and this and that, and this and that, and this and that. And they didn't want to hear that. They lived in it. They didn't want to hear it. They were there. But because I couldn't let it go, I kept holding on. They got where they just didn't bother to show up. For a long time, they would talk to me sporadically because they didn't know. They started timing how long it would take for me to get into that conversation. And what they do is at when the time came that it was about time for me to start up, they would say, well, Ma, I just called to tell you, to say hi and check on you. I gotta go do this, I gotta go do that. And that's how they escaped it. And I said, oh, okay. I didn't know why until later on. We finally did have a conversation. And they said, well, Mom, we don't want to hear that. We already know. You forgot we were there. We know your part and we know Daddy's part, and we don't want to hear it. We moved on. We got new lives now, and we don't want to keep hearing about that. We're not trying to diminish your pain of it, but we just don't want to hear it. And really, you don't need to keep talking about it because it only depresses you. And we want our mom. Right then, I was like, well, you got your mom. They said, no, we don't. We remember our mom, and this is not her. Now, with that said, how many of you have not noticed children don't come around like they used to? Friends don't even come around like they used to. How many of you all right now you're thinking, oh, dang, is that why they stopped coming? Is that why I don't hear from them anymore? Is that why? Could be. Because they keep coming, you know, with this fresh start, and 10, 15 minutes in, if that long, they ask you what's wrong, and here we go. And nothing they say do you let, nothing that they say do you let help you. So then they wind up missing their fresh start with you because you keep revisiting old stuff. Not a conversation that you have is absent and void of old stuff. Some way, somehow, you got to get it in there. You got to get it in there. You got to get it in there. So people just stop coming. They don't want that every time they go see you. So they just stop coming. They just stop coming. They stop. They just stop. And then you're looking at them. You got a new situation. You're looking at them. Well, why y'all stop? I thought we were friends. We are, but we don't want to hear that. It's not a time we come see you that we don't have to hear something from your old life. We on a new train. We got old stuff too, but we done with it and we're on a new train and we're doing new things and we want you to come with us, but it seems like you stuck visiting the old stuff and we're not dealing with it. Now that's what real friends will say. We're not dealing with it. We're not. But how about you go look in the mirror? Take the phone with you and go look in the mirror. And how about tell her what they told you? How about tell him what they told you? We're not talking about old stuff. We are in a new life now. That's not a part of our life anymore. That's not part of our life anymore. So, what I'm saying to you, quit revisiting the old stuff in your fresh start. Stop it. Some of them folk dead and you still talking about it. Others may have moved on and you still talking about it. If they moved on, honey, when you gonna move on? Hello? When are you going to move on? Huh? Excuse me. When are you going to move on? When are you going to be important enough to move on and not keep messing up your fresh start, revisiting old stuff? Even Daddy said in Isaiah 43, behold, I'm doing a new thing. Can't you see it? No, you can't see it. Because you keep going back to the old stuff. And here's your justification. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I got to keep, no. I got to finish it. No, it's finished. Yeah, but I don't feel like it's finished. It's finished, honey. It's finished. Doesn't matter how you feel. Look at the evidence. It's finished. It's over. Cut. And go ahead on and get to your fresh start. That doesn't have the old stuff in it. Doesn't have the pain and the ache and the depression in it. A lot of mental health is not because people's minds is crazy. It's because people keep revisiting the old stuff. They keep revisiting the old things. And let me tell you something. You're worth more than that. You're worth better than that. Okay? You're worth better than that. You know what people do with old stuff? After a while, they either bag it up, take it to the Salvation Army, or they burn it, or they just throw it out. Bottom line, they get rid of it because it's old stuff. It's old stuff. You have a fresh start. Revisiting the old stuff is not going to help you to have a brand new life. It's going to keep you depressed. It's going to keep you from making progress in your life. You're going to look back 5-10 years from now and you've gone absolutely nowhere. And you can't blame your husband. You can't blame the children. You can't even blame your parents. Go again. Go look in the mirror. That's who holding you up. You. That's who's holding you up. That's who's holding you up. Your life is meant to be the most abundant. And let me clarify something, because the world says you have an abundant life if you have a fat bank account, you've got a mansion here, another mansion in another state, and you got mansions overseas somewhere. You got yachts, you've got Rolls Royces, Bentleys, Range Rovers, you name it. You all the top stuff you got it, honey. That's not abundant life. There are people got all that stuff and it's as miserable as they come. You know what abundant life is? Your happiness, your joy. You're able to wake up every morning and embrace your fresh start with such a vibrancy. I know I made a new word. You understand what I'm saying? You are able to do a new start. Yesterday, what happened to me? I didn't know it, but Daddy did. He even had positioned me where when it happened, it would not be visible. I didn't catch it. And when it happened, I said, well, I'll get my things. There wasn't no need to sit in there to keep talking. Minds had been made up. Nothing had been investigated. Nobody had heard my side. They just went with what it was, and that was it. I said, okay, I'll get my things. Thank you. Did it hurt? Yes. But I would been at the point where I would have sat there. Tears in my eyes and everything. Not one tear. Got my things, got in my car, and I was gone. Came home, got some things done, and went to bed at my second normal. Normally I try to be in bed 7 o'clock because I'm usually up by, used to be up at 3 and 3:30. Now I do get up at 4. Daddy let me sleep at 4 o'clock when I'm tired. But I get up early and I'm up all day. So for me to go to bed at 7 o'clock, I don't care if it's still daytime, bed. But I hit it about 7:25 or something yesterday. And I got up one time, and the rest of the time, Daddy let me sleep. I mean, he let me sleep. And this morning, I feel so good. And that's why when yesterday's old stuff came to me and started trying to get in my fresh start, Daddy said, And I worked with him, and he helped me to push that right on the way. See, that's why I can talk to you, because not only have I been through stuff, but I'm still living. So guess what? Stuff keeps happening. And I keep developing more and more and more so I can have more and more and more of the abundant life. You get where I'm coming from? Let me tell you something. You have one of you, and you only have one life. You have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 arms, 2 legs, but you have one of you as a whole, and you only have one life that's been given to you. You do not have time to waste time on old stuff. You just don't have it. Okay? So I want you to go on today, and I want you, every time that old stuff come up, I'm in my fresh start. This is a brand new day. Ain't nothing I'm thinking about happened today. I'm done with that. And you just get your mind going. Get your mind going on fresh stuff, good stuff. And guess what? Tomorrow we'll be back and talk about some more. All right. You have a good one.